Our view of fathers and father figures, male guardians, patriarchs, whatever, they've really diminished over time. And in media, whatever you're watching, especially on the comedic side, but not just confined to that, you're inundated with these negative portrayals of dads. Whether it's buffoons like Peter Griffin, Homer Simpson, or even the lovable Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. Or on the other side, we might see abusers or misguided, dispassionate dads. Think of Harry Morgan from Dexter. Think of Norman Osborn from pretty much any Spider-Man incarnation. You want to look to anime, hey, Goku might be a great fighter, but everyone comments in the fandom about how he's not really doing a great job as a parent. I can think of a couple more anime examples. Think of Jing Freaks from Hunter x Hunter, abandoning his child. Or Endeavor from popular series My Hero Academia, overworking his children and not being there emotionally to them. They're just a way for him to vicariously live out his own insecurities, to overwrite those with successes that he is forcing on them, even if it's not the life that they want to live. And if they can't achieve that, they mean nothing to him. I went into a little more detail on Endeavor. Anyways, back in the day, you'd have shows like Father Knows Best. The dad in that was good. In Little House on the Prairie, having Charles Ingalls. You'd have these more powerful role models. The dads were caring, but they weren't weak. They weren't dumb. They had know-how, they had gall, they had a strong moral character, and they wanted to keep their family together. They were the glue. They were the source of wisdom. Not to say that the mothers weren't. Mother and Father Knows Best. Her name eludes me right now, and I'm not going to look it up. But she was caring, and she could also see things that the father wouldn't, bring them to his attention, and then they could take better care of the kids. It was family, and it was cooperative. And you don't see enough of that anymore, either in fiction or in real life. And I think in both directions, fiction and reality inform the other. It's the zeitgeist. It's whatever is in your mind, whatever is being talked about and seen and shown. It's a big living thing that changes all the time. It's sort of a meta, But I think something's lost with this. I think young men, middle-aged men, when you only see these negative depictions of fatherhood, it doesn't get you excited for it. It doesn't get you hyped up to live that life. You instead want to seek a life where it's just having fun. It's just me. It's a solo gig. And maybe you got a couple buddies or whatever. Though, statistically, that ain't looking good. People are more and more singled out and isolated. But it doesn't get you hyped up for that idea of starting your own family. Maybe you think of negative experiences that you had in your own family, but coding all of that are going to be these negative depictions of fatherhood. You see the bad guys and you think, man, what if I really lost my way? What if I was like them? Or you see the more lovable sort, like Hal, and you think, would I just be the joke of the family? Neither of those are going to serve as encouragement towards the prospect of fatherhood. A lot of guys, they're only going to see the idea of a wife and kids as, their liabilities, their obstacles to freedom. Instead of gazing to the future with optimism towards the idea of fatherhood, some guys are really afraid of that, as if it's nothing but thankless slavery for a woman who grew scornful and unloving, and kids who are disrespectful, and all the hard work that you do doesn't pay off. That's really your fear. It's that you've created this terrible cage for yourself that you're just trapped in, and that's what you don't want. You want it to be healthy, you want it to jive, you want a symbiosis, or symbiosis, I don't care, with your family. And maybe that's because, on a biological level, the work that a guy puts in to conceive children is less than a woman who has to go through the pain of childbirth. But how long is that going to be held over your head? If you're to live in a self-sacrificial way for your family, supporting them, being a role model, being a friend to the children, sure, but not in the way that they can walk over you. You have to be a firm guide. And some people mess that up real bad. People misappropriate the age-old saying of spare the rod, spoil the child, as clobber the child. That's being a good parent. You don't want that. That's terrible. And maybe that's bad on me to even bring that to mind, but I felt like it should be mentioned. That things shouldn't go in that extreme either. You need temperance. Being a good and chivalrous man is a treasure to the world. It's a treasure to women. And vice versa, being a woman of high caliber. That's what a guy wants. That's what a guy needs. On both sides, people are too childish and too self-interested because you're afraid of not having a return on investment, of giving your all and not receiving all of someone else, that they're holding something back, that they have a plan B of, if this doesn't work out, well, I can just dart, divorce, get out of here, go get someone else. And I think the fact that we behave that way is another reason why people are afraid of family, afraid of assuming a role as father and as mother. But as I was saying, there are women in need of good men, wanting to raise good kids with a guy who is selfless, who is self-sacrificial. More things matter to him than just having the next good time. And as men, it's our duty to break this mold that these modern depictions have of these broken and damaged people who just sort of happened into the role of fatherhood. They don't love their children. They don't love their wives. Maybe they love their career. They love their ambition, but they're not there for the family. That's not who you are. It's not who you want to be. If you've ever thought about settling down and having a wife and kids, the man you see smiling and holding his children and them running up and they're excited to see him when he gets back from work and he's supporting his family, all that, none of that is this garbage. And that's a future you can seize. You can be that good man. So break that mold, shatter the vision of the zeitgeist of these negative, tyrannical, hateful, not good of character, not morally upstanding men, and be a good father. Until next time.